Happy Stoney Sunday, everyone. I have a very special guest, professional pot journalist, David Downs.
Hi, how's it going?
Thank you for joining. I'm super excited that you're on Stoney Sunday because you were actually the first, I think there's two journalists that like in the same month wrote a story about me, but you are one of the first journalists that ever covered me as a blogger and thought I was interesting and worth sharing, and it meant so much to me and it made a huge difference. So
really? Because I felt like you were already there. Like I was just a little tiny fish swimming in your wake being like, look how great this big fish is.
Oh my gosh. It took me a really long time to come around. I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm really excited to have you on the show and talk about all the other things you write about and your experience so far.
Thanks for coming to my hometown of San Francisco.
Yes.
On this very rainy, Stoney Sunday.
Yeah, how are you dealing with all the rain?
Oh my gosh, when it rains, it pours. It is, we have a little river going through our garage, but it goes to a drain, and so we're good.
Oh, that's good. Most places, it seems like around here, because the rain is like far and few between, the drains are not clear.
We are getting El Nino'd so hard right now. I wish
I was snowboarding. If you guys aren't in the Bay, you might not know what's going on, but it's pretty intense.
We don't really get rain, and now we got rain. And when we got rain, we got rain.
Yeah,
so
I've been hotboxing at home basically because you don't want to open the windows and have like everything flood.
Splatter on you. Yeah, there's no safe place to do it in my house.
We got to smoke pot. It's not a Stoney Sunday without smoking pot, of course.
Cool.
We have a bong loaded for you. I can light up this hemp wick for you. Here you are.
Oh, wonderful.
Bam, bam, bam.
Thank you for this wonderful glass smoking apparatus, the Grab.
Yeah, it's by Grab Labs. It looks like a little slushy cup.
It's super cute. Phenomenally gorgeous. I don't know if you guys can see the purple accents and the black top.
That one, the bowl piece is by Ben Wilson. And then just to tell you guys full disclosure, it's all on Aqualab. You can find, I'm pretty sure they were trying to restock that piece last I looked. And then the bowl piece is for sure. Ben Wilson makes so much great glass. He's all over Aqualab. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to
the Gabba, right?
Yeah. We got to share with the people that can't smoke with us.
I'm sorry. You can't smoke with us right now. Coral's got some amazing craft flower here. That's a hybrid and fruity and tropical and just phenomenal.
It is that pineapple headband, which I had never heard of until I was at Craft the other day. And I was like, oh my God, this is the one.
So I'm hoping it's like a headband OG, you know, Chem Dog cross with pineapple. Like they just made, you know, that sort of headband more pineapple-y. You know, a little bit more sativa lightness to that heavy headband.
The headband they had on the shelf tested at over 30%. And so I was hoping that this came from.
How can a plant devote a third of its body weight to just being resin?
I never thought of it like that.
I don't know. I think that's one of like the questions for
really
future, you know,
write that down, journalist David Downs.
How can we be 30% now? Is this just math tricks?
No, I mean, it seemed legit.
Yeah.
It seemed really stony.
I can say that it's definitely not a low potency strain.
That's one of the things that I see in the paper is that like these days cannabis so was in the 80s or way back when in the 60s or something. Do you have to cover that angle? Like, is that something you talk about?
It's like one of the never-ending threads out there is like, oh, pot's so potent, but it did drinking ban lassi in India. Hash charas from Afghanistan has been one of the longest, most frequently used portable, you know, least likely to desiccate and rot formulations of medical cannabis for thousands of years. And hash is very potent. So this notion that like human beings are not used to higher levels of THC because they're not smoking 70s grass is just like literally a straw man. You can just knock it down. It's not even a real argument.
Yes. I always try and tell people too, if we're making this product for patients and for sick people, why are we asking to consume more potent and more effective is good. That's actually a good thing happening.
Here are concentrates, here are edibles, here are topicals, here are tinctures.
And smoothies that say smokies.
There's at least vaporization in the carcinogens.
You brought one too.
I did. Should we show it?
Yeah, he brought this one. I haven't tried it yet, but I
don't even know if I'm allowed to show this. So this is the new Grenco Elite. This is Grenco, who makes the G Pen and the Snoop Dogg Bush. They are doing they're doing a PAX 2 rival called the Elite here, and you can see this form factor is very small. You know, it's gonna disappear. Well, where did it go? but there it is. And then it's actually a flower vape, and that works sort of conventionally in terms of you take the top off and you put the grounds in there. And flower, you know, is one of the most available formulations in the United States. And so it's always good to have a compact, professionally made flower vape for all those places where you can't have a huge vape saber, or you certainly don't have access to more higher grade formulations like extracts and oils.
You can't bring a bong everywhere.
Yeah. Or the new DAT portable e-nail.
Yeah. It's like portable, but not subtle. It's not subtle at all.
If you get pulled over and that's in the passenger seat, it's not necessarily going to help your case. They're going to think you're some type of stoner from the future, like 2086, here to disrupt the Donald Trump campaign and like save America. They might help you out.
Yeah, I was going to say they support you in that case.
They might help you out.
If only that stoner would come and save us. If you're watching in the future, we need you now.
This is a message to the future. Intervene.
I guess I had one question when I started thinking about having you on the show. I know you exclusively as like a pot journalist, cannabis journalist, author. You've co-authored books too.
That's right.
Can we shout out your book? Do you have it available?
Sure. I brought the business card. Beyond Buds in 2014. Beyond Buds in 2014 with Ed Rosenthal and David Downs is crushing it. We just hit 20,000.
That's your name next to Ed Rosenthal's.
I know.
That's so amazing. That's awesome.
Chance of a lifetime.
He's like one of the leading authors, I would think, of cannabis books and how-tos and grow
Living
guides.
legend,
And
stood up to the feds in Oakland when he was growing. High Times, cultivation writer for decades, author of a number of best-selling books. He brought me in 2014 to research and help him write this Beyond Buds book about extracts. I just found out it hit 20,000 units sold.
Oh, yay!
And again, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking. But that's really good for small books.
Yeah.
And it's for quick trading. The publisher that released that book, it's Ed's publisher. And so we're back in 2016 with a new book about how to harvest cannabis, and it's called Marijuana Harvest.
Nice.
Something like a quarter of bud is ruined in the harvest because they don't dry it right, they don't cure it right, they don't store it right, and all that hard work, all that money, all that time, those nutrients just kind of goes out the window. And so Ed, in his wisdom, took a topic that's addressed in about 10 pages in most books. We're doing like a 250-page full-color book about harvesting it. Personal levels, medium scale levels, industrial levels, for top shelf flower versus mids, or large, for extracts, for edibles.
I've never heard of anything like this.
Processing.
Yeah.
Well, what's happening is that the field is specializing. You don't just have someone who is a cannabis business person. You have horticulturalists. You have guys who just run the curing room now. Their whole job. I went to one spot this month in San Francisco. This guy sits in like a big coat in a room that's like 55 degrees and pitch black, and works at like a desk in the dark. It's probably an OSHA violation.
Yeah, wait till OSHA hears about this.
Yeah, but his job is to monitor the cure and to be in there with the buds in the dark as they cure at low temp. And if you want to know the principles of why that's happening, you can definitely get the Marijuana Harvest book by me and Ed Rosenthal in like July of this year. Pre-orders are available on Amazon now.
What an opportunity. And that's really amazing to bring that information forward. So you clearly know about cannabis, but I wonder. I
learned a little bit. So I started the pot blog on East Bay Express, the newspaper in Oakland, in 2009-10. That's 7 years ago. And it really, I mean, they talk about being in the cannabis industry like dog years, like every year, 7 years. And it does feel like a lifetime ago. Because this was when Prop 19 was just getting going, and we wanted to cover Prop 19.
Yeah,
we wanted to cover the birth of all this medical information.
We did videos on the channel about Prop 19 and getting involved, and actually did a video wearing Doug Benson's shirt, Pot the Vote, because I thought it was so cool that he used a comedy tour for cannabis legalization. Way to go, Doug.
Yeah, and the whole principle of the blog was like, let's just try to cover this like a real beat, the way cops reporters cover cops, or that's a bad analogy, but like tech reporters cover tech, or business or food. Let's take these people seriously. Let's treat this like adults. And the readers really responded. Our mission of public service resonated, and Legalization Nation has taken over the last 6 years. Thanks to everyone who reads it. And again, I'm just here to help. And that's one of the things that's, you know, been keeping me busy a lot of the years is answering people's questions, going where people have interest. You know, what's going on with legalization in California, what's going on with CBD, on vaporizers, and sort of going behind the scenes there. And that led to the pop blog on the Chronicles website, SF Gate. That one's called Smell the Truth.
Yeah.
I do reviews for Culture Magazine. If you read Culture Magazine, they have 1 million readers now.
That's
nationally.
Crazy. That's
Can
awesome.
you believe that?
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so, and then I do one-offs for other publications, and then now these books. I've done 4 book projects in 4 years, and so yeah, it's just.
But I
crazy.
wonder, all of that cannabis info aside, did you always want to write about cannabis? It seems like, I mean, you could go on about cannabis forever. I'm the same way, but I didn't know right away. I thought waitressing and hospitality was like my jam for a really long time, you know?
I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to make a living writing and being my own boss, freelancing. And I thought coming out of college in 2002, 2004 in Santa Barbara, that I should focus on what America is going to be about during my lifetime. You know, what is it going to make in the world? You know, we don't make that many things anymore. But I knew that we were going to make music and culture, and we were going to make like code, you know, software and technology. When everybody else in the world produces hardware, we still think up sort of stuff, and we're this cultural center. And so I went out of college and I was covering music and tech. And so I wrote for Wired Magazine and Rolling Stone and covered like, you know, comedy on the internet for the New York Times. I got a lot of clips in that space.
Yeah.
But music has been sort of, you know, hollowed out by the switch to digital. You know, musicians find it really hard to make a living. If it's hard to make a living writing about music, or making music, it's even harder to make a living writing about it.
Oh gosh.
And then in tech, it's a really crowded space. And so when I started doing more pot reporting, I found that there wasn't a lot of peers in the space, and there was this audience that really wanted to know a lot more about it. And so I could just sort of, it was like an opening, and I could sprint and really
see these,
break
like,
out.
These headlines of like, so-and-so's the first official pot journalist. And it makes me laugh because I'm like, you've been doing this. People, I feel like me was one of the first, and especially creating a specific beat that was just cannabis focused. And it wasn't just about busts. It was actually about business and entrepreneurship and the different leading studies that were coming out. It was really, really cool. So I never understood how they pick which person is the official first weed journalist. I was like,
And we need to make sure to honor everybody on this arc, from the counterculture and the margins, like High Times and Steve Bloom, Celeb Stoner, Ed Rosenthal, everyone who risked really, really more than we'll ever know to write about this stuff. You know, that the interest has arced from the counterculture and the margins toward the mainstream. And I think Legalization Nation in 2010 was a real big milestone, because it was the first time that an alt weekly, like a groovy newspaper, was gonna assign a reporter to this almost full time. And then other milestones have since been met. You know, the Denver Post with the cannabis, that's the first time a mainstream American newspaper has crafted a section for cannabis the way they would for like food or sports, right?
Yeah.
And when that happened, everyone's like, he's the first. And you're like, you know, I'm glad everyone's paying attention, you know, but there's a lot of people who Ricardo Baca looked to when he was starting the cannabis, like everyone's standing on the shoulders of someone else.
Absolutely. I really like that phrase too. It's really true. And it is an arc. I was thinking about this the other day with YouTubes and viewerships and weed tubes and all these different things. And I was just thinking about like my subscribers and other people's subscribers. And I was thinking we are on an arc. We're on a really big arc. And like some of us, I don't know, we start early, we keep going longer. It's weird. It's a weird arc situation, but
yeah. And cool. I think
backdrop aborting. I think we can fix it though. If you guys remember the painted backdrop by Kathy Lee, you guys just get a nice butt shot as bonus. But if you guys remember, the backdrop that was painted by Kathy Lee was stolen in a smash and grab situation in San Francisco. So I don't think I'm ever going to see it again, because I don't think they would even know how to mean, I guess they could Google me because my name's on the backdrop.
Trials and tribulations
You know?
of being, a video celebrity on the internet.
I'm just being in San Francisco.
I know, right?
Just
It's
never
so
know.
common. Snoop got all of his stuff stolen in San Francisco when he was here for the Super Bowl.
Didn't 2
out of
Chainz
his
get
car.
robbed outside of?
Yeah,
the
I think it
Green
was
Door
not a
long
smash
time
and
ago.
grab,
That
but
wasn't
don't
he was
leave
in
stuff in your
prison.
car.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
This
like at
was a
least
temporary- it was a
700,000 people
24-hour
who
period.
live here. So it means a desperate, tiny sliver who will see anything of value and take it. And so when I first moved to San Francisco in 2004, I got cleaned out.
Oh no!
Yeah,
That's the worst.
Parked on Fell Street in Lower Haight.
Mhm.
And for people who don't know, it's a great neighborhood. It's a historic neighborhood. It's also a rough neighborhood. There's like projects right across the street. And through a little bit of a miscommunication with my girlfriend, I thought she closed the trunk.
Oh, no.
She thought I didn't even open the trunk. And we managed to leave our truck unlatched on Fell Street overnight.
Oh my god!
And there was like snowboards in there and cash gifts for people and passports. And it was a clean out. I lost my favorite boots and my favorite jacket.
No.
But it was like a great baptism, because welcome to the city. Welcome to the mass of humanity. Stay on your game.
I ground up more weed. I ground up pink panties for you.
Oh,
Ooh,
great.
la la. So I don't know if you want to vape it or
Man,
smoke it.
That smells phenomenal.
But I have another question. After you smoke, I will ask you another question.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to focus.
I showed them the nug.
Okay, great. Yeah,
You
that's the
guys
ground up
saw
pink
it.
panties. You could see the
Do you want to smoke? I can't
color
reach
was.
your bong, so
I'll put it in the vape.
do it. Vape it. Vape it.
The vape, the color is really great on this. It's very, it's really well cured and dried. It's crumbly but without being dusty. And
Are you guys getting all of the strain review info you always want but never get from me?
yeah, do they come? Do you get feedback of like, where's the?
People really
deepness?
enjoy strain info, and I'm always so like, every batch is different, and I don't know what I say is gonna be so different than what you pick up.
Well,
but I just never think to really go through it. But it's so nice hearing it. I feel like I'm like, oh, you're like a sommelier of weed.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll
tell
come
me
in
more.
once a month or year and we'll talk about strains too.
I like it.
Because I do get to review from culture, and I think I've learned a lot over the last 5 years. I get a lot of strains, and so we turn this guy on here with a flick.
Do you have a personal strain list? Bonus Stoney Sunday question.
Yeah, and like a strain archive.
Oh
with
yeah.
photos. Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. I wonder how large your personal strain archive is.
It's pretty big. You got to figure 5 a month minimum times 12 months times several years.
Well, I have a personal strain list that's over 300 strains, and I'm very excited. And
Yeah,
I love
on the
it.
Tumblr.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Yeah, I'm always looking for someone that might have a larger personal strain list because I feel like it's really inadvertent that I have this because I just happen to write them down because that's what I like to do. And I feel like most people that are trying a lot of strains, they don't write them down. They don't have a proof that they tried each one. So I'm always like looking for someone that might have more. Oh, you can adjust the temperature. Look, it's like precise. There's a little number readout. That's really crazy.
I'm gonna crank it up. It's at 405 right now, and I know that's hot.
Very good.
But I do like to. I like to just get a nice big, thick envelope of all the terpenes and the cannabinoids.
Envelope of terpenes.
As opposed to a thin sort of string of them that I can't like. I need to be able to taste it as close as I can to like actual fire.
When the camera doesn't refocus, I just blow more smoke at it, and then it refocuses. It seems like.
Didn't read the manual. I'm just going intuitive on this thing. Okay, so now it's climbing.
Does it work in an intuitive way? Is it working?
I think there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve.
I'm the same way with products though. They'll send you like all the info and like how to and like links to guides, and you're like, I just want to poke the buttons. I want to see if I can make it work.
Yeah.
It's heating up. It's doing its thing.
Yeah. So as it's doing it, you can ask me.
Okay. My question. I had 2 questions, a few questions over
It tastes
here.
really
But
good.
was there ever a particular guest that brought the best smoke that you showed up for and you were like, I was not prepared. I am super high. Or maybe you're like, this is awesome. Finally a guest on my level. Like, was there one that brought the best smoke ever?
Okay. So I hear what you're saying. Like, I go and interview people. They're my sources.
Yeah.
Sometimes they make me sit down and smoke with them.
Sometimes.
And,
I brought some weed. I imagine other people will bring weed.
And it's kind of rude, a reporter on the beat to refuse someone's best. And so gosh, to say that I think who's really brought the fire lately. I'm always bringing the fire, so I don't have to really think back.
Huh?
Yeah.
Which is true. You actually brought me some super fire. You brought me some rosin shatter, which is like we were saying, it's kind of hard to find rosin that's actually shattery. So your answer is like
Michael Dingus. You can get Dingus.
D.
Michael D. You can get the Grenco Elite probably on the Grenco website
and Vape World.
And Vape World, excuse me.
And you get a
Vape
discount
World
on
carries
Vape World.
at a distributor, and so they just have a bunch and they get them to you.
And discount World Reefers, that code saves you some money on them. I'm almost positive. I know the packs didn't validate or do the discount code, but I feel like this one does, and then so does the e-rig thing.
Yeah. So whenever I work with Ed Rosenthal, he is a pretty Stoney guy.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. He would have to be on the top of the list. I'm sorry.
No. I gotta say, doing Beyond Buds, working on Marijuana Harvest with him, which is available now.
His wife is so sweet too.
Yeah, Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta say that
he's
always ripping little bowls and keefing out mids and making little hash tablets and then putting those on top of bowls. And
a few things.
I don't want to out him, but he's real. I don't know if you've seen the older generation is no fuss, no muss.
Mm-hmm.
Metal pipes, butane lighters, just ripping, murdering that thing.
Yeah.
And they just, right?
It's true. It's how it is. I met him probably 4 or 5 years ago. I'm so awkward around people that I really admire. So
really?
Every time I meet him, I'm I'm a really big fan. Thank you. Goodbye. And I just run away really fast. But when I first amp myself up, I'm gonna film, I'm gonna ask him a question for Stoney Sunday. And I asked him what his favorite way to smoke was, and he was like, I can't answer that. And I was like, oh my God, why would I ask someone this? I can't even answer. This is horrible. I felt so bad. So I can only imagine he has so many options. He tries so many things.
People bring stuff in, because he's Ed. So everywhere he goes, people are handing, and so he's always got this and that around to smoke. And I wouldn't I would just really, I'd be sitting there, and after a while, I just try to take little quarter tokes or 10 tokes, and then just continue working, and trying to take notes or typing,
people that take shots and
with him.
Spit them out, kind of.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep up.
I wanted to bring him the good tasting cannabis. I was kind of no, man, Ed needs to be smoking. Again, craft caliber or plenty of the other top shelf, providers out there is best of the best. And so I when I show up, I'll grind a bowl of, some, gosh, what I love right now. Just, some really good gelato or whatever.
Well, you're
grind it up, put it in a glass bowl, hand him a hemp wick that's lit, and let him go, oh, and come back for seconds.
So you're kind of bringing up something that hasn't really explicitly been talked about that much, which is our cannabis elders not being honored and respected and showered with gifts like the new people are. And he should be getting, the best glass and the best samples of weed.
I think he's okay. He's taken care of.
And people are getting great things, but him aside, I've heard of other people.
Oh yeah,
a lot of long time actors. I don't want to name people because no one's in need. We're not trying to say they're
was
but I've heard of some people that into their 50s and 60s, they just aren't seeing the generosity that used to come from the community because people are just chasing views and they're going for what's most popular rather than the people that actually put in the time. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people going, a lot of carnival barkers that get a lot of attention versus last year, I believe the wife of Jack Herrera there was a story about how she had no cannabis in Southern California. And, I was on some listserv email sort of threads where it emerged that, again, she was really high and dry in the desert in Southern California. And supply drop had to be arranged because, there's no, there's no master list of all the OGs and make sure that they're stocked up. Find your OG and smoke them out.
A lot of people are they should have I know in the comments in the past, people are like, they should have planned better. They should have bought a house when they were rich and this and that and whatever. But the bottom line is the general spirit of the people that we're talking about are givers and people that didn't buy houses because they went on tour to talk about cannabis and they put their money into their products that they were selling and sharing. So a lot of the people don't have this like big fat stash pile of cash that they're ready to just like retire on. So I don't know. I think it's really interesting.
I see that as well. I see a lot of marginalized people who had nothing to lose stand up. And they still don't have very much. And you know, it's a function of having nothing to lose that makes you be like, well, I don't give a fuck. Let's do this.
That's actually one of the reasons I started my show is because I was unmarried and had no kids. Still am. What up? But you know, people would always say I can't talk about cannabis publicly because my kids or my family, and I'd be like, turns out I don't have anything to lose. I should just do it. It was a really freeing factor.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I'm an internet weirdo. I was marginalized, and now I talk about stuff on the internet. How did the vape thing hit? Did you like it?
It was great. I got great flavor from the pink panties, which again, I didn't mention is like one of these archetypal strains, you know, in the Bay right now. I believe it has Cookie Fam roots, and
it does.
So it's coming out of the same shop that brought you Girl Scout cookies.
This is
gelato
specifically.
and
so it's actually technically a different shop because it is the homegrown pink panties.
Okay.
So it's by the Edibles.
But I feel like the pink panties
is their genetics.
Yeah, and that floral, grapey, like whatever was in pink pea. Let's just call it double P. They've been using it in some of these other strains, and so
can we say, are you down to smoke PP?
Oh, you know me?
That's what I thought was happening for a second. Sounded right to me. Oh my goodness.
So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How's Stoney Sunday doing? How's vlog life?
It's so fun. Yeah, I feel like I live the dream all the time. I don't even like to talk about too much because I feel like I'm bragging, but I feel like life is really amazing.
Yeah, you don't want the evil eye. I'm like, I'm doing okay.
Doing good. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's good.
I got my stuff to do.
There's a lot of work. There are a lot of work things to do, but I really like it. One thing I'm really, really grateful is all the support that I've received since the beginning. So I was really slow to monetize, and I never worked with sponsors that I didn't really want to work with and was excited about. So I sponsors, at all lately. I'm just really slow and steady, and I've been able to do the glass to sustain it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like I get to talk about what I'm really passionate about, and I see other people in the space talking about things that sometimes I wonder if they really care about, and I'm just like, oh, thank you, Reefers. Thank you, Reefers. Yeah.
You can keep being true. And
yeah.
It's kind of nice having fewer sponsors than more, because less masters to please, less, emails to have to deal with.
The Reefers are the masters. Focus. I always think about the Reefers. They're number one. And then the sponsorships, if the sponsorships can help me help the Reefers, then those are the people I work with. So it's been really fun. And I get to go back to Australia in a couple months, 7 weeks. I'm so excited.
You've been guest bartending too?
Yeah, you're so nice. We're talking about guest bartending. I've been doing it once a month. And now I'm making videos when I do it. So we do dispensary tours. We go inside, get to bring the camera.
How is it serving patients? What's that like?
It's the best. There's been people that have they cry when they're telling their story about cannabis. And I just feel like that's so cathartic. We need that sometimes. We need to tell our origins and our paths of how we got to cannabis and why it helps us. And if I can be the sounding wall in that moment, then it feels so good. So I've gotten a lot of really good hugs, and I've gotten really cool pictures that people brought in.
How many patients have you served? Or do you serve each time? It's really
busy, yeah. I have a regular counter spot when I guest attend. So I serve patients that aren't reefers too. I just do the best that I can. I do have a lot of service industry experience.
Yeah.
It's weird because every time I guest attend, it's my first day.
Yeah.
So that's
you get to be hi everybody, hi. Try to be super nice.
I don't know the computer system yet.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I kind of just let someone else
handle
the buttons.
Yeah, just write the order down and hand it to someone who knows the POS, right?
Yeah, but I can talk to the patients.
Yeah, and sort them out. How many are totally cannabis naive versus how many are yeah, show me your fire. I gotta get going.
Most of them are right in the middle, but there's I'd say 20% either one of those.
Yeah.
20%, they're in, they're out. They're I want this, I tested this, I love it. And 20% that are why is the shake so cheap? And I'm like, well, it's shake. It's a, you know, we don't have strain specific, or it's been on the shelf a little bit longer. And so I kind of have to educate them from the beginning a little bit more. But the bulk of patients really are coming in there like, I think I like sativas. I've tried this strain. Is there something else?
Great.
You know, it's really cool.
Yeah.
The conversation's so different. And like bringing the camera in there, like we were saying 5, 10 years or 7 years ago, whenever we started, very hush hush. Like if you wanted to bring a camera, you need to ask ahead of time. You needed to clear it with everyone. And generally it was a no-go. You were just writing about what you saw. I never.
I like great. Like they would hold that to media. And so to break through that wall.
Yeah. And in there, I would ask, I'd say, can I take a picture of your bud here? You know, I have a blog. Can I post it? And they'd be like, no cameras at all. And I'd be like, you can see that it's down all the time. And they'd be like, no. The camera, and they're actually like, here's our favorite products. Let me show you this. It's very cool.
Yeah, they do tours now. Heads of state are going places. Healthcare provider just like are basically going through a leading dispensary in town. You know, I don't have permission to talk about it, but like the door is more open, and for mainstream storytellers to be blocked at that door has been a huge such a connection to that. Maybe probably here. But you know, it's been a huge barrier to telling those stories more. And so floodgates are opening. Now you got ABC and NBC and CNN, and they're all in there, and they all have a show, and Vice has a show. Like if you see like video news.
I haven't seen Weedakit yet.
I saw it.
But the back of my head, did you see this?
Shout out to Weedakit.
On Weedakit.
You guys watching Weedakit?
My dress and back of my head is on the show. So
cool.
If you, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet because I'm like
see the
way
one.
behind.
I watched
veterans one.
I was watching the like kids with cancer.
Oh yeah, I saw the commercials for that one. It looks adorable. I don't want to cry that much though. Is it?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I don't want to get into the sad. We don't want to talk about sad stuff right now, but I bet it's really, really interesting.
But as a journalist, I will say that like that's that's what comes with the territory. Is like those stories, and it's the hardest stories to tell. And so to see another journalist dealing with it on camera, like calling his wife, being like, I can't take another one of these, you know, like. Moving on. Okay,
so the one I was on was about veterans and their access, and it was filmed when we were in Washington, D.C., and I don't know if they included the march that happened, but we actually marched to the veterans building there, and then they projected this video that was like an artistic representation of the suicide, the 22 a day suicides that happened from return. And it was really powerful. We all were standing on the street watching it dinner together. So some reefers have shown it to me, and I'm like, oh my god, that's really exciting, but I haven't watched the whole episode. But I have one final question.
Hit me.
For this week's Stoney Sunday. If you want to smoke some more, we smoke some more. But the final one is, with this really exciting job that you have.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten into a risky or compromising situation while trying to get the story?
All the time. Oh my god. So for the last year, again, I hate to sell, but me and Ed have been doing this book, Marijuana Harvest, and so I've been going to farms for a year. And like, don't get me wrong, going to a farm in Colorado is as easy as being like, boop, 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 boop. Hi farm, I'm with Ed Rosenthal. We'd like to come down and take some photos. And they're like, come on down. See the license on our wall? Sign in on your sheet. Da, 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 da. Like that's only one side of the industry, and a lot of it's in California. And so we worked really hard to access California, and that is not easy. And
believe that.
I mean, I had this saying by the end that like, oh, we must close. We're on a dirt road with no cell phone access, you know. And whenever, like, I'm a city kid now. I've lived in San Francisco since 2004, and I like having to be able to shout help, help, and like help's gonna be within range. It's gonna be within range. Cell phone range, you know. Like I live down the street from a fire department, from the fire station. The grid on a road, following written directions and unlocking gates, and anytime like there's misunderstandings, there can be, you know, there's the potential for stuff like goes way up. And so every time I'm just like, here we are nowhere, driving alone, do, you know, like you're just waiting for this like movie to start.
That's where I still haven't really like filmed it all, because people are always like, oh, you should show the grows, show the huge plants. I'm like, you guys don't understand really. The people that have cultivated these huge ass plants, they're not inviting every Joe Schmo, especially with like a GPS tracker on their phone, to come on up there and take pictures. It doesn't happen like that.
Although again, every day we're people
hey,
allowing more media back there, because
like,
they're switching from hiding to like realizing that they need to brand and tell their story, because Anheuser-Busch might come in and try to tell another story.
Bonus last question. You are a pot journalist. What are your thoughts on legalization in California in 2016? Nationwide, maybe, but like, how hopeful are you for us?
Well, I'll start by plugging this book, The Medical Marijuana Guidebook, a patient's guide. It's coming out by me this spring. You can learn more if you just Google Medical Marijuana Guidebook David Downs. The best way to find it is at usmmj.org. That's like United States Medical Marijuana.
Yeah.
usmmj.org. That's like where you can pre-order the book, and that's where we'll have the updated book after it comes out, and we need to update it because the laws are changing so fast. That's why you need a guidebook, is to guidebook like parts of dealing with licenses, getting your card, how to get your weed card in 35 states where you can card of some kind, with good stuff and shop. And what do I buy? I've been doing Legalization Nation for 6 years now, and I get a lot of questions from a lot of people, and so I kind of boiled it down into like a FAQ, like a FAQ.
Okay. Yeah.
And to answer your question the long way, like one thing I've seen when you look across America is how poor marijuana access is in America. We're looking at, and gotta say, like, people live in places where they don't have the most rudimentary access to these forms. And doing the book taught me that, these should be in every dispensary. There should be a dispensary in every town. There should be products in every, drugstore.
Yeah.
Sanjay Gupta will tell you that. And,
he was wrong. He changed his mind. And
yeah.
So,
when I think about legalization, and I see what's happened in Colorado and what's happening in Washington and Oregon and Alaska and DC, I see a knock-on benefit to patients, which is that prices are going down, access is going up. They're deleting the part of the law that says it's a crime and replacing it with it's not a crime. And when it's not a crime, you can get more medicine to people. And hearing stories about kids and just baseline chronic pain sufferers, of which there are millions, makes me want to ensure that this vital medication is as available as a lot of more dangerous stuff like aspirin and Tylenol and non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, and let alone and so when I think about legalization, I think about those patients, and I think about how we can move the ball forward for them. And it seems you can move the ball forward, and
like that.
And the sort of the details, the bigger details, I think can be worked out in a much more legalization.
No laws forever.
No, that's the great thing about laws is they delete them and rewrite them all the time. There were cities that have banned dispensaries in response to MRSA, and now they're already flipping back and going, okay, we changed our mind. An ordinance is but you can rewrite an ordinance, you can rewrite a law. And 2 years later,
I didn't know that there was that.
Like there's this in Alma. We're Washington, and you got to steer the ship, but you got to make sure the ship's going forward. So, like, just need to stand with prohibition and vote down, viable initiatives.
Do you want to take a bong hit to say goodbye to everyone?
I'll take one more vape hit.
Or vape hit.
Protect my throat.
Thank you guys.
I think I got this thing licked.
You can do it. If you want to find more David Downs info, you repost really interesting content on Twitter. I love following you. You can follow the links down below on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching live. if you did. And you can always ask questions with hashtag Ask Stoney Sunday. And then thank you, Bovida. Every jar, every time. Here's a jar, and there's 2 Bovida in it. Bam! If you guys want these goodies, the Bovida goodies, I also have the links and discount codes, and there's a discount code for this vaporizer, so that works out. Thanks so much for joining me on Stoney Sunday.
Thanks for having me. usmmj.org. Spread the good word.
Pre-order the book. Get one for your parents.
Thanks. Yeah, it's definitely for your parents and your great aunt and her hip.
And your kids. Bye!